Hi guys, welcome to Garrett's Garage. Today we're going to be diving into a troubleshoot and repair of something a little unusual for me. Usually I like German cars. Not really on purpose, not sure why, but usually it's BMWs or Porsches or Mercedes. I have 7 cars right now. One of them's a Ford. The rest of them are all old German cars. If you want, you can go to my Instagram page, Garrett's Garage Gore, and the first 7 posts on that are my 7 current vehicles. But today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be troubleshooting a vehicle that has overheated and it's lost all of its coolant. And this is a brand I don't usually mess with. This is a brand that goes way back in Formula One racing. They started in Formula One, I think, in 1964. So this should be very interesting. Yeah, the world's most boring car. Oh boy. This thing is disaster. Absolute mess. Oh, we got oil leaks. Okay, first things first. We need to clean this engine compartment so we can see what's going on. So I got a gallon of this stuff at Smart & Final. It's commercial grade hood cleaning degreaser for restaurants. And it seems like it works really good, and it's way cheaper than buying the cans of degreaser at Pep Boys. So this is what we're going to use, and let's watch the time lapse. Now we're going to let it sit and soak for a little while, and then we're going to use a pressure washer very carefully. Oh, and don't do what we're about to do if your engine's warm. You want to let it be completely cool before you do any sort of cleaning like this under the hood. This thing looks so much better now. So we should be able to see what's going on. It looked like there was an oil leak somewhere down in here. So we'll have to investigate that a little bit. And then it looked like it was dumping its coolant out somewhere down there. So I'm going to back it into the garage and put it on a lift and have a look underneath. I have a lift in my garage. I'll show it to you in a second. It's from Harbor Freight. It didn't cost very much, and it sure does help out with things like this. Hey, you guys should probably also meet my assistant today. This is M&M, but she prefers to be addressed by her more formal name, Marshall. Hello, Marshall. You're a good girl, aren't you? Marshall is 3/4 German Shepherd and 1/4 Husky. And Marshall is about 11 weeks old. Marshall's a good girl. Yeah, so she just hangs out and is my assistant in every way. So I took off the air box, as you can see, and inside the air filter housing I found this lovely thing. So I'm going to take that out and replace it with this guy right here. So let's pop this guy out. Alright. Okay, I'm going to clean this housing out a little bit before I put in our new air filter. But that should certainly help things out a little bit. So upon further examination, all of the oil running down the front there is actually coming from back here, where you can see I pulled off the air box and the air filter housing, and I just pulled off the top of the VTEC solenoid, and you can see all that oil and all that oil there. Yeah, we're spinning around here, but the VTEC solenoid, the top section of it is leaking. So I think if I get that rubber gasket insert there and put a new one on, that may solve our oil leak problem. Yay! So this is the new gasket for our VTEC solenoid. This is what's left of the old one. As you can see, it's very flat and it's very dry and brittle, and it broke when I was taking it out. This is the replacement. That's the part number, and I just got it over at the dealership. It cost $15, and on eBay you can get them for about $5. So if you can wait a couple days, that's definitely the way to go. But I needed to get this done today, so I donated to the dealer's cause. And just like that, no more oil leak. Yeah, the oil was pouring down the front of the engine here, and no more oil leak. Ha! Okay, so I fit the new gasket in place. As you can see, I took a little bit of oil and lubricated the rubber on before I put it in, and now I'm going to put it back in place there. It's held on with 3 bolts that are 10 millimeters. Pretty much all of the bolts involved in this job are 10 millimeter. Don't lose your socket. So another big problem with this car is right here in the radiator. You can see that inside the radiator filler neck, the plastic has deteriorated. And if you look carefully, you can see that there's a gap right there. And that's not supposed to be there. So that means that this whole damn radiator needs to be replaced. Or maybe some JB weld? I don't know. I might try and do something really sketchy before I commit to replacing the radiator. Let's see. Yeah, sketchy. I said sketchy. JB weld plastic bonder. So I mixed some up and used it to fill that crack, a big gap in the filler. As soon as it sets up a little bit more, I'll smooth everything out, and then hopefully we'll get a nice place for my crappy radiator cap to seat, and it won't leak anymore. Well, as you probably guessed, the JB weld did not hold, and as soon as the car warmed up a little and started to build pressure, it started to leak out again. So what I've got here is I found a little copper fitting. This is for 1/2-inch pipe, where you solder this on, and then it is an adapter to turn a half-inch copper water pipe into half-inch threads. So what I did is I measured, and this end fits inside this the radiator neck just about perfectly. So what I did is I cut off one of these ends, so I've got a little flange, and I made this end nice and smooth, so hopefully it'll seat. And if you see here, that little center part of the meow, hello cat, the center part of our radiator cap still fits in the center of this little flange. So I'm going to epoxy the hell out of this in there, and we've got a new sleeve that doesn't protrude down into the water channel, and it only increases the thickness a little bit, so hopefully it won't make our radiator cap not blow off when it's supposed to. But we're trying to do this low dollar, so I don't want to spend, you know, $80 or whatever buying a whole new radiator if I can help it. If this works, awesome. If it doesn't, well, I guess I'll be putting in a new radiator, but we'll see. I think this may work. I'm gonna put it in with this quick steel extreme heat epoxy putty, and hopefully that'll seal it in, and we'll be good to go. And if it doesn't work, like I said, oh well. Yeah, and here it is in place. So now we need to wait for the epoxy to cure, and we may have a low dollar repair. It's all fixed. It's running, it's warmed up, it's fully at pressure, full running temperature, and the radiator filler neck does not leak anymore, and the oil leak is all fixed. The engine's cleaned off. It's got a new air filter, and I think it's ready to go. I think we did it. Hey, thanks for watching. Maybe next time. This car is really bad. I mean, it's got terrible paint falling off everywhere. The headlights are just a disaster. They need to be straightened out. So maybe we'll do some fun stuff and make this car look a little cooler, a little less like grandma's grocery getter or whatever it is. So it might be fun to, I don't know, debadge it and maybe fix the paint falling off the bumpers, and maybe fix the paint on the roof. It's just terrible. So yeah, maybe we'll do that in the next week or two. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it at least somehow. And I know I'm certainly happy, and the owner of this car, my son Sean, he's going to be certainly happy to have his ride working again. See you next time.